Have you ever seen a fighter who wasn't just a champion in the ring, but also a champion of the people? A man whose fists wrote history, but whose heart made him unforgettable. That was Ricky Hatton. On September 19, 2025, the world of boxing, Britain, and millions of fans across the globe were stunned. Ricky Hatton, the Hitman himself, was gone. Dead at just 46 years old. The news spread like a lightning bolt, a legend cut down too soon. But who was Ricky Hatton beyond the gloves, beyond the bright lights, beyond the brutal battles? What was the story of the boy from Manchester who rose to the top of the boxing world, fought giants like Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, and yet battled his own demons outside the ring? Today, we honor him. We tell his story. The triumphs, the tragedies, and the legacy he leaves behind. Ricky Hatton was born on October 6, 1978, in Stockport, Greater Manchester. To understand Ricky, you have to understand where he came from. Working-class Manchester, a place of grit, resilience, and loyalty. The pubs, the football chants, the people who never forgot their roots. Ricky grew up just like any other lad, passionate about football, especially his beloved Manchester City, but he found his destiny not on the pitch, but inside a boxing ring. From the age of 10, Hatton's talent was undeniable. Sharp, aggressive, relentless. He wasn't the tallest, but he was fearless. His family stood by him, his father Ray and mother Carol often cheering at ringside as their boy's fists started carving out a name. But what set Ricky apart wasn't just skill. It was his connection with people. He wasn't a polished superstar, he was one of them. Fans would later call him the people's champ, because whether in victory or defeat, Ricky Hatton never lost that working-class heart. His professional career began in 1997. By 2005, Hatton shocked the world when he fought and defeated Kostya Tszyu, one of the most feared champions of his era. That night in Manchester wasn't just a fight, it was an eruption. Over 20,000 fans packed the arena, chanting his name like a football anthem. Hatton forced Tszyu to retire on his stool after the 11th round. Against the odds, Ricky Hatton had become the IBF light welterweight champion of the world. Imagine the scene, a working-class lad from Manchester, draped in a Union Jack, the crowd singing Blue Moon. It wasn't just sport, it was history. For many, that night defined him forever. From there, his career soared. Victories piled up, belts collected, and Ricky became a global name. Yet even as he climbed, he never changed. After fights, you'd still find him in the pub with fans, laughing, drinking, singing. He didn't separate himself from the people, he celebrated with them. That's why they loved him. But with greatness comes even bigger challenges. In 2007, Ricky Hatton stepped into the ring with Floyd Mayweather Jr., the undefeated pound-for-pound king. The fight took place in Las Vegas, but you'd think it was Manchester. Tens of thousands of Brits flew across the Atlantic to cheer their man. The atmosphere was electric. The chants were deafening. But boxing can be cruel. That night, Mayweather's precision proved too much. In the 10th round, Hatton went down. He had tasted defeat for the first time in his professional career. Yet even in that loss, Ricky's stock didn't fall. Why? Because he fought with heart, with courage, with everything he had. Fans respected him even more. Then came 2009. Manny Pacquiao. Another global icon, another mountain to climb. This time, the ending was brutal. In the second round, a thunderous left hand from Pacquiao knocked Hatton out cold. For minutes, the boxing world held its breath, fearing the worst. Ricky eventually got up, but that fight marked the beginning of the end. 2 devastating defeats. A hero humbled. But was this the end of Ricky Hatton's story? Not yet. Outside the ring, Ricky Hatton faced battles even fiercer than Mayweather or Pacquiao. Depression. Addiction. The pressure of fame. The loneliness after the cheers fade. He spoke openly, bravely, about his struggles. About drinking, drugs, and even thoughts of ending it all. Can you imagine? A man who had 50,000 fans chanting his name, suddenly alone in silence, questioning his worth. That was Ricky's reality. But here's what made him different. He didn't hide it. He fought it. He admitted his struggles, encouraged others to seek help, and became an advocate for mental health. In doing so, he showed that even heroes are human, and even warriors need healing. His story wasn't just about boxing anymore. It was about survival. In 2012, against all odds, Hatton attempted a comeback. After years away, after the pain, after the darkness, he returned to the ring. The arena was packed. The chants of Blue Moon echoed once again. For a moment, hope filled the air. But destiny can be cruel. That night, Hatton lost to Vyacheslav Senchenko. The comeback was over. Tears filled his eyes as he announced his final retirement. "I gave it my best," he said, his voice breaking. And fans, though heartbroken, stood by him. Because that's who Ricky was. Not a perfect fighter, not an untouchable superstar, but a man who gave his best, every single time. After boxing, Hatton dedicated himself to training fighters, giving back to the sport that had given him everything. He worked with young talents, shared his wisdom, and stayed connected to fans through commentary and appearances. And slowly, he rebuilt himself. But life is unpredictable. On September 19, 2025, Ricky Hatton's journey came to a sudden end. Dead at just 46. The cause, still being pieced together by the public, was a shock that rippled across Britain and beyond. Fans flooded social media with tributes. Videos of his greatest fights resurfaced. Thousands wrote about how Ricky inspired them, not just as a boxer, but as a man who never forgot his roots. The tributes weren't just about knockouts or belts. They were about loyalty, courage, and heart. So what is Ricky Hatton's legacy? It's the nights in Manchester when the whole city seemed to shake with pride. It's the armies of fans who followed him to Vegas, turning boxing into a football match atmosphere. It's the way he opened up about his demons, showing others they weren't alone. It's the reminder that heroes aren't perfect. Heroes fall. Heroes suffer. But heroes also rise, again and again, until the very end. Ricky Hatton's fists told one story. His heart told another. And together, they wrote a legacy that will live on far beyond his 46 years. Rest in peace, Ricky Hatton. Manchester's son. The people's champ. The Hitman. Gone too soon, but never, ever forgotten.